Once the wheels and tires are cleaned, then it's time to clean the actual body of the vehicle. Now, one thing you need to understand is that the paint on your car is extremely thin, number one, and modern clear coat finishes are also highly scratch sensitive. So if you don't clean them properly, meaning you don't use a high quality car wash, high quality towels, wash mitts, technique, it's very easy to instill swirl marks and scratches. Swirl marks are thousands of shallow scratches, often referred to as spider webbing. So it takes away from the overall appearance of the vehicle. So I'm going to walk you through step by step how to properly wash the car to avoid any type of swirl marks or scratches. Starting with my detailing cart. I love using a detailing cart like this, and the reason why is because it prevents me from having to bend over repeatedly as I work my way around the car, reloading my wash mitt full of soapy water. So detailing cart, they're imperative. Make sure you get one that has a cutout for your bucket. Next, I like to use a foam cannon. So the first thing I do is I get my cart set up, I put my bucket in there, I fill it with an auto wash, and there's a lot of different car washes on the market. You get what you pay for, like anything else. I always like to use a graphene auto wash, and the reason why is the graphene, number one, produces the highest amount of suds. Also, it's the slickest, it rinses off really well, and it adds protection along the way. So I have my bucket set up, and fill the bucket with water first and then soap. If you do soap and then water, you'll end up with too much suds and just a little bit of water. So fill the bucket with water, then add the soap, and then you can take a grit guard insert, which sits at the bottom of the bucket. Use this to stir up your solution of soap and water in the bucket, and then place this at the bottom. The way this works is it sits at the bottom of the bucket, and after you wash a section, it's really important that you take your wash pad or your wash mitt and agitate it against the actual grid. And what happens is dirt and grime is released from the wash mitt, and it gets trapped in these fins. That way you're not swirling up dirt and grime back into your wash bucket. So these tools are a must-have. And speaking of wash mitt, you want to use a really high quality microfiber wash mitt. For washing the body of the vehicle, I'm not a fan of like sheepskin or animal hair. Microfiber, in my experience, works best. And then to actually coat the vehicle with foam, I'll use a foam cannon. So there's a foam cannon, which attaches to a pressure washer, and then there's a foam gun, which attaches to a garden hose. There's a lot of varying qualities in the market. Make sure you do your research and pick a high quality foam cannon because it'll last you a long time. And using this is really simple. So first and foremost, fill the reservoir with water first, and then add about an ounce, maybe 2 ounces of soap, depending on how much suds you want. And then what's really nice about this particular foam cannon is it has a quick connect already built in, and you can adjust the level of foam output with the dial at the top, along with the spray pattern at the front. Again, you get what you pay for when it comes to foam cannons. So add the soap, and then put the top back on, stir it up really well, and then use the quick connect to attach it to your pressure washer wand. It's really important when you do this that you make sure the quick connect is fully seated on here. Otherwise, what can happen is when you pull the trigger, you shoot the actual gun at the vehicle, and that's the last thing you want to happen. So cover the vehicle in thick, frothy foam. Again, not all soaps are created equal. The graphene produces a ton of suds. And an advantage of using the foam gun or a foam cannon is by covering the vehicle in thick, frothy foam, number one, you help prevent water spots because a high quality soap will not leave water spots. So cover the vehicle in foam, and another advantage of the foam is that it sticks to the surface, and as it runs down, it encapsulates the dirt and grit, so when you actually rub your wash mitt across the surface, you're a lot less likely to scratch the paint. The goal here is to avoid scratching the paint by using high-quality products and techniques. So coat the vehicle with foam, and then take your actual wash mitt or your wash pad, dunk it in your bucket, and wash the vehicle starting at the top, working your way down. It's really important that you take your wash mitt or your wash pad and you reload it back into your soapy solution quite frequently. And the reason why is you want to release the dirt and grit that's on the surface and also reload it with soapy lubrication to help prevent swirl marks and scratches. That's really, really important. And after you completely wash the vehicle, what I'll normally do before I finish everything off is I'll inspect to see if there's any bugs on the surface. Usually in the front end there are. So in that case, I'll use a roadkill bug remover, and you simply spray this on. And while you have your wash bucket and everything set up, it's important to let your bug scrubber soak in the bucket, and the reason why is it'll soften up over time, and it makes it very pliable. And the chemical in the roadkill with the enzymes, they break up the bug splatter, and then the sponge with its open cell structure removes the bug splatter without scratching the paint. So take care of the bugs. And then for the grill and other delicate areas, I like to use a really soft boar's hair brush, and these are flagged bristles, and it cleans in the complex diamond pad or grill pattern, and it just makes things so much easier versus trying to use a wash mitt. And then once everything is finished, it's time to rinse the vehicle off. And what's the advantage of using a graphene auto wash is that, again, it's better to let the soap dry on the surface than the water. Now, most of us were taught, including myself, that as you wash the vehicle, you wash a panel and you rinse it off because you don't want to let the soap dry. Well, if you're using a high-quality graphene auto wash from a reputable manufacturer, this can completely dry on the surface without causing any damage. So you wash it, then when you're completely finished, rinse everything off at once and then dry it, which will be the next step. So stay tuned for part 3 of how to properly wash and dry your vehicle.